friend, the end. Don't get scared, don't get scared. Welcome everybody to another episode of Savage Crash. Here with me, Supoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency. In today's episode, we are going to be exploring some new information as to why Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is taking a severe dump right now. I am going to be looking at this new information with you in conjunction with some other information which counters it, and then I'm going to give you my overall thoughts on what is really the truth. So, if you're excited to learn about why this is potentially happening and what I think is going to be the future of it, then smash up the likes, give us a like spike for coming live even on a bank holiday. It's Good Friday today. Also, if you haven't, make sure that you smash that subscribe button, be a member of Team Supoman, get a daily video, and learn every day what is happening and what are the best coins to invest in. So, if we look at CoinMarketCap today, it looks fundamentally depressing. Very depressing. Look at the market cap all the way down to 255 billion. This looked unheard of again when we got to 830 billion back in December. It was an amazing time. The Blockfolios looked incredible. Never did I think that we would hit levels like this again. Okay, and we are seeing amazing prices. Well, it all depends on which way you look at it. Me being a person that likes to accumulate and do work and buy stuff for the long term, prices look great, but you've got to look at it in the context of why is it going down? And is it a good time to buy? Is it not a good time to buy? Let's explore. So, if we have a look at this graph, which I've been bringing up every day, I said that the bottom was around about here, early 7,000s to early 7,000s to late 6,000s. Now, what has happened is that what people said or called the death cross, which is when the 50-day and 200-day lines, the moving averages, cross, that creates the death cross. And what happens at the death cross is quite a major slump in price and also a prolonged movement, a prolonged bear movement is what it means. Now, the two lines have, of course, crossed, and the line has gone through the floor that I predicted anyway. And this was the natural floor given the low points of Bitcoin in the last, well, I would say in the last kind of 8-9 months. So it has gone through. What on earth is going on? Now, if we have a look at the cryptocurrency news, there's a lot of negative news. I mean, you could take your pick. There's a lot of negative news today, particularly talking about Bitcoin falling in price dramatically, shedding lots of money out of the market cap and, cryptocurrency interest. But let's have a look at the news, at the new information. Let me just check that I'm live and you can hear me and everything. I always do that. Yes, so you can hear me, it appears, and I look very, very clear and quite loud as well, but then that's the Supoman. Smash up the likes, by the way, peeps. 1,500 people watching, 215 likes, not enough. Smash up the likes if you want for Bitcoin to smash it up. So I'm going to join you, like smashed. So let's have a look at this new information. So, you may or may not have seen this Medium article, but this Medium article goes into quite a lot of depth as to what is happening. So, the fourth dimension, Bitcoin, manipulation, cartel, price suppression is the goal of this apparent cartel. Now, this is coming from an author who essentially said that he called a 90% correction in Bitcoin and, well, in the cryptocurrency market generally, as of the kind of 16th or 17th of December, when it went way up and before CME opened the doors to the Bitcoin futures market. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on, okay? So what he's talking about is that there's a cartel behind, so a group of people essentially, behind the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency correction, all right? So cartel into the crypto space somewhere around October 2017. Their presence started showing around the hour CME futures market opened its doors for cryptocurrency. Bitcoin dump started exactly at the moment CME opened the doors at 5 p.m. on December the 17th. Okay, so this is the point where he apparently called that a correction was going to happen. He said a 95% correction was going to happen at this point. 70% has corrected so far. And this was at the time that Bitcoin went down to under 6,000. So it's not corrected any more than that, really, since this point. Okay, so let's get out of this. So what he's saying here is, oh yeah, everybody's saying it's a natural correction, you know, this is what happens. But what he's saying is, no, that's not the case this time. Okay, so what he's saying is that there has been what would be kind of, I suppose, badged as a coordinated attack from this cartel. Okay, so what he's saying is that there was a series of news items that have happened since November. However, at coordinated points, this news was released in batches, okay? So it was released in batches to really bring a massive slump in the value, okay? So you can see here, January the 30th, all of a sudden, all of these different news items kind of came together all on one day, causing a correction. Now, I was in San Francisco. I remember this time, Bitcoin did go from 17 down to 14,000. And it was just this onslaught of bad press. And then again, on March the 7th, 2018, again, another mixture of negative press. There were 8 bits of negative press all on one day, and that has brought us to where we are now. This happened at roughly the beginning of March and has led to the catastrophic drop that has been achieved since it went to 12k and then went down to now 6,700, has gone further than that today. And it's basically, yeah, coordinated attacks. Now, I said something very similar on the 21st or 22nd of December. I said coordinated whale attack on the market. Don't fret, normal service will be resumed. The thing I didn't know is how quickly that normal service would be resumed, because it hasn't yet. But I even had my doubts. I thought, yes, this is coordinated. What is happening right now? So another thing that he said is that there's a serial killer on the loose. So there has been a series of coordinated dumps that have happened. Okay, most of the dumps start below the previous dump price. So he's showing here all of the dumps that have been taking place on the price of, I believe that's just Bitcoin. So what he's saying here is that that this serial killer was found on the OK exchange, which is a Chinese exchange. So a number of users, so on this particular date, March 30th, a number of users performed unusual, so this is when it was kind of identified, a number of users performed unusual transactions to manipulate the price of Bitcoin quarterly futures contract, making it deviate greatly from the Bitcoin index. Based on our team's investigation, the user closed a huge amount of positions at market price without considering the cost. Okay, so what he's saying is any doubts that Bitcoin is being manipulated down without considering the cost, and also note the words futures contracts above. So what he's saying is that there should be no doubt it's being manipulated, because these price attacks have been done without considering the cost associated with it. So no matter what happens, they are going to smash the price down. So what is the cartel? So it's saying here how a cartel, I suppose, is how a cartel is defined, and how this cartel has been operating in different asset classes. Okay, so uranium. So the futures market for uranium started in May 2007, and the price rose from $5 to $130 from 1993 to 2007. So it went up. Then the futures contract started, and this cartel is responsible for bringing it down and it never recovering. Same with gold, same with silver. Okay, and if you look at these charts, yes, they do have a stark resemblance to what's happening with Bitcoin. So he has almost some kind of justification that a very similar pattern is happening, and therefore they are responsible like they have been with other asset classes. So let's go down and have a look. So he's saying the cartel is like an invisible hand. Who are these entities? So traders, agencies, big financial institutions, and media. Okay, so they all work in perfect synchronization to pull coordinated attacks to attain the goal, so achieve the goal of price suppression. And this has all been happening since the time that Bitcoin hit its highest, okay, hit its highest value. Why do they do this? It's about money control. Financial elite has recognized that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is generally a threat to their existence. Well, we know this. This is kind of the narrative that we have been exploring when we've been looking at why we don't want regulation entering the space, because it's a way of giving control to the centralized system to suppress the volatility, well, not necessarily the volatility, but I suppose the freedom involved in cryptocurrency, how we've experienced it to date. So they see it as an enemy, but instead of destroying it, they just want to control it. Okay, they want to control it because there's more for them to gain by controlling it rather than stopping it. Okay, so that's what's being said here. So they're working in conjunction. But this is not happening across the stock market. It's just mainly happening with asset classes such as gold, silver, uranium, and Bitcoin. Okay, so what is his conclusion about this? Okay, so he's saying that the what they're trying to do is suppress price. Okay, so suppress the volatility, essentially make the market destroy itself. So everybody starts getting so upset that cryptocurrency doesn't grow, and so what they do is they just eventually abandon cryptocurrency because it's never going to achieve December prices. This is what this guy's saying, not what I'm saying. So what he's saying is you have two options: continue to deny it and lose your capital, or recognize the threat, understand the strength of the enemy, play the cartel's cards, protect your capital now, buy Bitcoin damn cheaper later. Okay, so he's of the opinion Bitcoin's going to go down to about $1,000. So what's the strategy I'm using? This is the guy. Less of the hodl, less of buy the effing dip, sell the rally. So what he's saying is that basically trade it. Okay, buy it at a bottom, let it, let whatever rally is happening on an altcoin or a Bitcoin happen, and then sell at the peak. Blah 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 blah. I understand trading is difficult. If you can't handle anxiety, then just buy the dips and hodl. Okay, so you can read this article. I'll put a link to it, but when you look at it, it looks very, very depressing. Okay, it looks very, very depressing. There's a whole series of news. How will this end? One day the cartel will lose control of the markets. That will be epic. That will be when the prices of Bitcoin and everything else, well, the other asset classes they've tried to control, will rise astronomically. My Bitcoin path is 20k to 1k, then to 100k. So things just go to 100k once we have flushed out this cartel, and the cartel are looking to bring it down to 1,000. All right, so interesting. I would be interested to see what you guys are saying. Like I said, I do think that there is a coordinated attack. I and Box Mining and other cryptocurrency YouTubers have pointed out that there have been news items that were released, or at least the news about it was released in some form a long time before it was released in mainstream media. And the time that mainstream media tends to report it is when the price is going down and when they are putting a series of different articles about other factors happening, negative factors happening in cryptocurrency. They do it all together. So, so this isn't anything new. Now, you may be feeling right now very, very depressed, feeling that there is some legitimacy to that article, okay? But there is another suggestion, which may make you feel a little bit better. This is on the Our Cryptocurrency thread on Reddit. Ignore the conspiracies. This is why crypto crashed. And it's not that complicated. The majority of people who bought in January and December don't even understand what Bitcoin is, wanted to get rich quick, don't believe in Bitcoin. They sell when the price goes down and have very, very weak hands. Bitcoin goes down, everything else goes down. The sell-off is the result of people being shaken out. And then it was saying a number of bonus points and blah, blah, blah. But essentially, the main reason for this crash is because it was overhyped. People expected too much from this asset class without the real-world adoption kind of supporting it. Stop playing with conspiracy theories and trying to deny the most obvious facts. So, Where do you think the truth lies? I personally think, this is my personal opinion, that the truth lies in a bit of both. I do think that there is an element of control being put on cryptocurrency. There is, I believe, a greater call for regulation. If I had asked the question, do you want regulation to enter the cryptocurrency space, maybe last year, maybe kind of, if I asked you in August or November or even January, people would have said no. But because of the volatility, because of what people perceive as market manipulation, and because of a massive emergence of scams, because it's become very easy for scammers to take my name or BoxMining's name or someone, go on Telegram posts and try and get ICOs to pay them, or go on my Twitter and say, oh, give me 10 ETH and I'll triple it. Because it's become so easy, now there are more people wanting regulation to come in. But the problem is with regulation is that it kind of invites the centralized system to come in. And that is why I think these coordinated attacks have happened. Because they are wanting the centralized system, the banking world, the media world, they are all working in conjunction to bring regulators in, make money from the business. The business can still thrive, the industry can still thrive, but they want a greater hand in it. A little bit like what this guy's saying about the cartel being an invisible hand. They are almost like an invisible hand, trying to get involved in it where it has been so free before. But do I think that they are trying to destroy cryptocurrency and bring it down to 1K and all that? I don't think that is the case, okay? And I do think that a big reason, again, in conjunction with the news items and the coordinated attack, is that people did buy because it was overhyped, because, it was more and more in the news and everybody was getting excited and thinking 20K was the beginning and we were going to see 80K, 100K, $1 million Bitcoin, in 2020. So, this is a big reason why it was overhyped. It did get very big very quickly. And a lot of the newbies that got in were the first to sell on batch because they got so badly burnt. And that has continued happening. So the answer, in essence, in summary, is in between. But I don't believe in the outright cynicism in this. But I do think it has some legitimacy. And it kind of, I suppose it just supports a lot of the theories that I've had. But I think that fundamentally, this is another big reason. And it's kind of happened in combination. All right, so what do I think this means for the future? Well, I just don't know. And to be quite frank, don't want to say. Bitcoin is going down even more. 6,000 is going to hit 6,500 very shortly, I think. And once it does, that's just going to bring it down to another level where people get worried. People have been saying 6.6, 6, 5K. Some people have been saying 1K, but I think that's just ridiculous. I don't think it's going to hit 5K, personally speaking, but I don't know. Being brutally frank, I don't know, and I don't think anybody truly knows. So all I would say is that there is a potential for it to keep falling. There is a potential that it can rise. Think about the weekend that we are in. We are in the weekend. The Easter bank holiday weekend is traditionally known as the representing death and resurrection. Are we seeing that replicated in Bitcoin? Are we seeing the death and resurrection? Are we going to see it going up over the period of the next few days? Are we going to see it resurrecting as spring progresses? I personally think so. I think it's just very easy to be down because it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you see more red and more people are selling and selling off, then it's only going to bring the price going down further. And it's just that, as I was saying before, it's fear breeds fear and breeds it and breeds it. And it just keeps on going down and down until you smash through that, which is where I think spring's going to be coming along, where you literally can't go any further down. And it is going to be leading to a resurrection and the greens and the bulls, and we're going to see it going back up again. So I don't think it's going to go down to 1K. I still maintain my position, but as for the reasons why, yes, I do think there's some legitimacy in what that guy on that Medium article is saying. Now, let's have a look. Let's now kind of pass this to you. What do you guys think is the reason? Do you believe in what that guy is saying? Do you think that the price of Bitcoin is going to go to 1K, or do you think actually the one that probably makes the most sense is this, because it actually does make a lot of sense? Let's see what you guys are saying. Smash up the likes if you haven't already. Down to 5k. April going up to 21,700. 666. Thank you, The Element. I love the Bahamas. You don't think I've ever been there. Manipulated. Illuminati involved. Well, at the end of the day, that is the kind of... Hi, Alison. Lisa Allison. Thank you for the hearts. Love them. Bear with me. Just getting rid of a knobhead. So futures is the reason. Mount Gox selling has caused the dips. Well, actually, what that guy's saying is actually it's not Mount Gox. You know, the price is... Where does he say it? It says it, I think, somewhere towards the top. He says that the Mount Gox, the times when the price went down was actually not corresponding with Mount Gox. Okay, so here we are. Example, Mount Gox did not sell on March the 7th, but the news of this sell was released on March the 7th. Also, the Tether subpoena, the one that we talked about at the end of January when I had Box Mining and Lola in my hotel room. Only very shortly, though, of course. You know, there was nothing untoward going on. We talked about the Tether subpoena. Now, this actually was issued on December the 6th, but the news was released on January the 30th, along with other critical news releases. So, you know, is it Mt. Gox? Probably not. That's the alternative view that is taken with this article. And given that there are quite a few bits of news that corroborate this thought piece or conspiracy piece, you can't ignore it. But on the plus side, you have got this leading data scientist saying Bitcoin price crash is absolutely nothing to worry about. So, in the midst of the drama surrounding Bitcoin and the impending doom, leading data scientist Thomas Lee has spoken out with a message of reassurance to Bitcoin investors. So he says long-time holders are worried because they have big gains. Because they have big gains and they're worried about falling prices. But Bitcoin is a great store of value. It works really well. It's kind of boring because it's not the latest and most exciting project, but it is also one of the most liquid ways to get exposure to cryptocurrency. And it is the main one at the end of the day. And also he said he thinks Bitcoin will reach 91,000 by the end of 2020. I think he's being very, very reserved there, which kind of makes you think, does he even know what he's talking about? So anyway, but that's it. That's that. That's that. So it's not all doom and gloom, peeps. Not all doom and gloom. The thing is with the cryptocurrency market, and there's absolutely no shadow of a doubt because I see this every day on the Telegram forums, is that this is an industry full of very immature and not very resilient people. Now, in order to hold, you have to be very resilient. You need to be able to see prices like this from the prices it has gotten to and be able to hold despite, or at least, tether it. But selling your positions at a humongous loss, unless there's something that you really want to buy that's at an incredible price, that is what the weaker hands do. That's what the people that have no resilience or staying power do. And those are the people that I've seen more and more in cryptocurrency than ever. I mean, I look in these Telegram groups and to be honest, on a lot of occasions, I'm disgusted by what I see. Because, the attitudes are just so immature. And it's gotten worse. And I think that the reason that we've gotten down to where we have is literally because of the maturity of the market, the inability to be able to hold cryptocurrencies. That's why people are selling ultimately. So I think that it's just a mixture of events happening, mixture of factors happening, and all kind of I suppose come together to form this and this. So I'm not worried. I am not for 1 second thinking this is the end. Okay, I don't think so. I am really chuffed to still be part of this revolution. And I think it's only going to go further. And I think that if there are conspiracies of price suppression and everything, the reason why is because the centralized system want to have some form of control of this decentralized system so that they don't... This is not becoming an alternative to the model now. This is not an alternative to fiat money. And we want we want an alternative to fiat money because now a lot of us have cryptocurrency. We want to be able to spend it And of course, what people are going to try, I think that what the centralized system is going to try and do as this market continues, growing, is that they are going to try and control that and stop there being an evolution in currency and how they control money, how the banks control money, using savings accounts and all of that. So there we are. There we are. Marble of the Arch. So that's that. Now let's move on to other items. So there is one more item really to cover, and that is the pre-beta release of the Credits platform. So they have just updated the code and the blockchain to reflect some new changes to what they had when Ivan on Tech looked at it. And one of the main ones is that we've opted out of MD5 hashing in favour of Blake 2S. I'm not going to pretend to know anything about that. But also something is smart contracts. And that is at the moment is not available, but it will be available in the beta that's coming up in April. Okay, so this has allowed for credits to stay quite constant. It's probably the only cryptocurrency that I hold that has not dramatically fallen whilst everything else has. This did go from kind of 20 to 30 cents, then soared up all the way up to $1, and then corrected down to 55, and has only grown whilst everything else has come down. So Credits is doing really well. There is an article countering the release and saying that there is some negatives about it. I couldn't find that prior to coming live, but there is somebody who has gone through the tech a lot in the way that Ivan on Tech did and didn't have some nice good things to say about it. But one of the things he's talking about was smart contracts, which actually isn't offered at the moment anyway. So I don't think that you have to kind of look at it and take it for what it is. Another thing is OneChain. So OneChain has gone down to $2.86. In fact, it's gotten lower than this. However, the Satoshis, because Bitcoin has gone down, and people have been holding on to OneChain, the Satoshi value has actually gone up. So I bought this yesterday at $2.99, but because Bitcoin at that point was about 7,200 or so, the Satoshi price was 40,100. Okay, so even though the fiat value has gone down, the Satoshi value has gone up. So I'm still in profit. So I have put another buy order because I do anticipate, looking at the movement of cryptocurrency, right now it's going a little bit bullish. It went to 6,600 exactly, and I thought it might go to 6.5, but it's only gone up from this point. So it's testing support levels. But if it does go down towards the 6 and then subsequently 5.5, if that happens, I'm not saying it will happen, but if it happens, then as long as Bitcoin doesn't, as long as OneChain goes down further, then there could be some really good Satoshi points at which to buy OneChain if you're interested. I know a lot of people really looking to get some OneChain, and I've put a couple of polls in the last 24 hours, and people are thinking that OneChain is the one, really, is going to be the one that kind of gets into the into ye old top 10 of the cryptocurrency market cap. So yeah, a lot of people wanting this. A lot of people have a lot of faith in it. So so if you're interested, I've got a buy order set at about 35,000. So I'll just have to wait and see if that happens. Anyway, what are you guys saying? What are you guys saying? Resurrection could be happening as we speak. It could be happening. The thing is that if you look on Twitter, etc., if you look at the community, a lot of people, there are some wild predictions. People are saying 5k, people are saying 4k, 3k, 2k. Everybody's saying it's dead. It's going to die. And at the end of the day, nobody has more of a clue than you do. They may think they do. Richard Hart yesterday, everybody kind of knows of him. And it went down, Bitcoin went down to about 6, no, it went down to 7.1 or 7.2, I can't remember. And he was saying, right, it's going to bounce from here. Didn't bounce. And in fact, fell right through and is now $600 less than it was then. So, so nobody really knows. So if people are saying, if you see somebody say 5k, 4k, even if you see somebody saying on the other side of the equation, 20k, 80k, no one knows. All right, no one knows. And this technical analysis absolutely confirms to you that, that it's a load of drivel at the end of the day. So there we are. There we are, Marble Arch. So what are you guys saying? When New York Supo bring Lola? Well, we'll see. 4.7 and 5.1 is the absolute bottom. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you know, again, nobody knows, including the person that said that. Smoke weed. I don't smoke that shit. No way. Shit. Made me feel ill. Anything else? I sound really nervous. Are you having a laugh? I'm not nervous at all. Believe me, peeps. I should be more nervous than anyone because I had at the peak back in January. In the peak, I had a shitload. Okay, I had a massive amount, and I lost loads even as of the beginning of this month. Now, since the beginning of this month, it has dropped so catastrophically that I can't even bear to look at my portfolio right now. Having said that, though, do I look like I've got the face of a person that has lost about 3/4 of what they had back in January? No, I don't, because I know it's going to go above that and beyond, ultimately. Because, like I said, if let's say, for instance, back in January, when I had when it was really good, if I got hit by a bus or something and was knocked into a coma for 7 years, I bet you I'd wake up about 50 times richer than I was in January and bypassed all of this crap going on. But because we're living it on the day-to-day picture, obviously I come online every day and you are seeing another story. Why is it down? And of course it makes you kind of, I guess I'm contributing in a way, but really what I'm trying to do is just bring you news. But, the day-to-day picture makes you fear it. But a lot of the people that get involved in stocks and shares, they don't give a toss what's happening in the market. They don't look. Okay, they invest in something, then they just leave it, go about their normal day-to-day stuff, and look at it once or twice a year. And my father had a load of stocks. He cashed them out recently when my mother passed away. But when they held on to stocks for about 40 years, and most of the time didn't ever look at them, right? And it went from being a 4-figure portfolio to a near 7-figure portfolio, right? And all through holding. And they bypass all the crap. They hold through the recessions. They hold through the poor economic times. And the only reason why people are selling is because people do watch the day-to-day. You've got more control over this asset class than you do the stocks. You have way more control here. And that is a good and bad thing. It's good because you can just buy cryptocurrency and own it straight away. I could say to anybody who says to me, oh, I like this cryptocurrency stuff, how do I get involved? And I can say to them, in about half an hour, you can own cryptocurrency, you can own altcoins, you can own Bitcoin, right? In the stock market, you don't get that, but you do get that, and that's a great thing. That's freedom. You can put your fiat money into it and you can have control of this type of money. But on the bad side, it allows people to be burnt and take their money out as soon as they are a little bit scared. And that stops the hold all mentality. So I am holding all, peeps. And I think the market is as well. Look, nearly 6,700. So I think I might end on a high there. Let's see what you guys are saying at the end. Death cross is not the beginning of the end. It's usually near the end of a downturn, historically for stock market. Well, everybody has their own story and narrative about it. Talk about Ethereum, Supo. Well, I tell you what, if you want to enter into any ICOs, then Ethereum is at a really good buying price right now. A lot of people getting into ICOs about 2 months ago were paying $1,400 for one Ethereum, which could get them 5,000 tokens in something. Now, you can get, for $374, the same thing, and get about 5,000 tokens of one particular coin. So, you've got to look at the negative. You've got to look at the positives with the negatives, okay? Now, I'm not necessarily saying now's a good time to buy, even though some of these cryptocurrency prices are amazing. Cardano's 14 cents. Neo's under $50. IOTA is nearly back in the cents again. There's some really good things that you can get. The only thing is that because Bitcoin's going down quite hard as well, the Satoshi conversion isn't that great. You've got to hope for lows in the alts while Bitcoin's going up, and therefore you get really good and low Satoshi prices. So when Bitcoin goes down, you're instantly in profit. But even if you look at a lot of these cryptocurrencies, like Nano, under $5, for God's sake. You know, this is, well, okay, now it's gone up 2 cents. But a gig on Fiverr, you know, if you ever contract somebody to do something for you on Fiverr, you know, this is just as much. You could just buy 1 nano for that. It's probably not that great to just buy 1, but you know what I'm saying. But look, I mean, you've got the Satoshi values now. Although you know there isn't much of a separation between Satoshi price and fiat price, you still make the fiat multipliers when you buy into these things, okay? And you've just got to, when you're strategizing, you've got to make sure that when there is a resurgence, when there's a resurrection, I suppose, that what you buy is likely to resurrect. Hence why I'm taking looking for quite a much bigger position in Wanchain, because I do have a lot of faith that's going up, but I do think it's overvalued, and I have ever since it came out about a week ago, nearly a week ago. But I think the Lambos are a little bit far off, peeps. But at the end of the day, just all I would say is, you know, I'm not going to influence you in any way. I'm not going to say don't sell, because ultimately you've got to make your own decisions. But all I can tell you really is what I'm doing, and I'm holding. You know, I'm not tethering, I'm holding, because, you know, if I didn't have, and I've been in this game for quite a while now, I'm a veteran compared to most people. And because I do it full time every day and have been since about a year ago, then, you know, I think that I probably am one of the ones that you should listen to versus somebody who came in January, doesn't know anything, and says, oh, sell, 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 everybody sell, 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 because they're so susceptible to the FUD. And that is really one of the biggest negatives of cryptocurrency, is susceptibility to FUD. Shell Williams, yes. Keep buying till the bulls come back and hold on tight. Talk more about Cardano. I don't think I really should. I mean, if you look at my top picks playlist, top picks for 2000 and Supo's picks for 2018, you will see everything about Cardano. And Cardano was like $1.60 or something at the peak. Or maybe being a bit. But it's now, 14 cents? Just ridiculous. Don't try and catch a falling knife. Well, ultimately, you never know when the knife is going to hit the floor. You know, and you can't, like yesterday, you know, I was thinking, should I buy Wanchain? I do think Bitcoin's going to go down a lot more than 7,200 and bring Wanchain down with it. But then I also thought, well, you know what? The Satoshi looks pretty good. So I went for it anyway and thought, well, if it goes down, I'll just buy more. So don't catch a falling knife. Well, you know, in some instances, when you've got a very strong cryptocurrency, I think that you know, and I'll probably get ripped for this, but I don't care. But I think that the price of Wanchain has held very, very strong despite the price of despite the price of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was 7,200 yesterday, and Wanchain was $2.99, right? Now it's gone down to $6,600, and Wanchain's still only, you know, $2.90. It's lost 9 cents, even though Bitcoin has lost about 6-7 grand. So it's really done well. So I'm glad I bought Wanchain when I did. So every individual case is different. It's not a one size fits all. You know, one of your altcoins may be a good, maybe today may be a good day to buy it. When if Bitcoin even went to 5k, Satoshi wise, could be a bad time to buy it. So you know, you just got to take the opportunities where you can, and that's that. 88 Supo, are you buying 1000 Dash in the sale? Nah, I should do. Let me have a look. Masternodes.online, is it? Let's have a look and see. Masternodes.online. Let's have a look and see how much I would make. Is Dash on here? Don't know where Dash is. Dosh. I think that if you buy a Dash Masternode, you make about, I can't remember, 15k a year or something. Let me have a look. Masternodes. There is a website where you can have a look. I just don't think I'm on the right one. But there is one where you can have a look and see what dividends. Let's have a look. Let's see if Dash is on here. Doesn't tell you shit, does it? Doesn't tell you anything. Let's see what happens if you go into it. Here we go. So, if you have a Dash Masternode, you get $58 daily, $407 a week, $1,700 a month, $21,000 a year. And because this is the most famous Masternode, over time I imagine this will just get higher and higher. It's not going to fall dramatically from this point. So if you have a Dash Masternode, which back in the day, you could have bought for $10,000. You know, about a year and 2 months ago, you could have bought this for $10,000. It would be supplying you with an income that is relative to a pension. Okay, so you could basically live off that forever if you just have a Dash Masternodes. Don't need any other cryptocurrencies. So, there we are. Masternodes are great, but I'm not going to get one. Crypto Daily died. He hasn't died. He was in here the other day. I've already looked at that fourth dimension thing. I've just told you it. So, re-look back over it if you want to see what I said. Have an amazing Easter. You too, peeps. Make sure that you enjoy your Easter eggs. Hopefully I got a nice Easter egg. Who knows? You know? Never know. But if I do, I like white chocolate. So if anybody wants to, you know, I don't know, donate me some money. No, I'm only joking. I'm only joking. Don't donate me anything. I don't need it. Okay, peeps, I don't need it. But I do like white chocolate. It's my favourite chocolate. Craig Grant coin looks hot. Thank you, Wendy. Experience coin never heard of. Dash is a new BTC. Probably not. Thank you, Karan. I appreciate your ongoing support. Credits has no smart contract ability. No, not yet. That's in the alpha. That's in the beta that's coming out. Ethos Wallet is coming out soon. Yes. We want to see a picture of you and your father. Oh, well, follow me on Twitter. I may post one of me and my father. Fusion better than WAN. They're both good, to be honest. But at the end of the day, while Fusion's good for gains, WAN has definitely got all of the hype right now. So you can't deny that. And I do think WAN has a very good future, just based on the multifaceted nature of WAN chain. There's so much. But there's a lot for Fusion to achieve too. It's just that WAN chain are further down the track. So there we are, Marble Arch. Another one I've been looking at is Zilliqa, but the what's it called? Satoshi value is just not good enough for me. Ontology continues to grow. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's just absolutely insane how it's so expensive. No, I just don't understand it. Walton's $10. Let's have a look at some of these prices. VeChain 224, Binance under a tenner, Icon 220, so it's cancelled out all of the gains that it made recently. Lisk $7. This was $40 at one point. Nano, as like I've already said, is tremendously down. Verge's 0.3. Steam nearly down to the $1, back to where it used to be. Good old Steam. Look at our chain, 92 cents. That's a good buy. Definitely a good buy. Zilliqa's good, but let me just have a look at the Satoshis. 637 is just too high in Satoshi, man. It's just not going to go for it yet. I'm going to wait for it to hopefully go down to about 500 and something, which I think will happen once Bitcoin resurges. Anyway, let's stop now. It's time to go. So, thank you, peeps, for being here with me today. Laser Gaming. Why didn't I cash my XVG earlier this week is beyond me. Bless you, Laser. Now you've retracted it. Why? Why was Yggdrash main ICO launch cancelled on their timeline? Don't know. I'll have to look into that. Yggdrash I'm bullish on. The KYC started. If you've make sure that you submit your KYCs, peeps. That's it. That's it, peeps. Don't want to make this go on for too long. But what I do have a request though. Smash up that damn like, will ya? My likes have just been failing. It's just a dramatic fail. Smash up the likes. Only 780 likes? Come on. How many people really want Bitcoin to go up? Do you want Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to be here and stay here for the long term? Smash that like up. A like is a support for cryptocurrency to survive. That's how you show it, peeps. That's how you show it. Anyway, follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. It's just at Michael Supo. Make sure you follow me on ye old Twitter. Also, what I would say to you is if you, I think it's a good thing to potentially follow some of the technical analyzers at a time like this, because in conjunction with the news, technical analysis is it allows you to spot some of the trading opportunities, which, going off this article, is probably a good way of growing your money and getting some profits. Like I said, just if I sold my WAN right now, even though it's a fiat loss, it doesn't flipping matter because it's all in Bitcoin. So I would have made a massive Bitcoin profit on the amount I bought anyway. So, so you could probably get a lot from, what's it called? So I know that one of the good guys is Philocone. I think I said his name wrong yesterday. And another one's like Crypto Cho or something like that. So yeah, so follow these guys. They're really good. And they're really interactive as well. Anyway, so that's it for today, peeps. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for liking. I hope you continue to like and smash up that like. And I hope that you keep the faith ultimately. Stay in the game. We are Team Crypto at the end of the day. Stay in the game. Don't be a weak hand. Stay and have the faith. This is going to go up, peeps. It's just a storm that has to be weathered. I have 100% faith in that, but this isn't financial advice ultimately. So don't get me on that one. Anyway, peeps, enjoy your Easter. I may or may not be around over the next few days because it is Easter, and I do like to celebrate Easter. And I do like to watch some of my religious films like Ben-Hur, because that is just wicked. But in the meantime, guys, have a great one. Don't get too fat. And I'll see you next time. It is lights out, all out.